In this video, we're going to talk about the stimulus package update and other money news for August the 27th. We're going to talk about the IRS sending out interest payments, the Fed keeping rates low, more news on that. And also we're going to talk about an EIDL update and of course the stimulus checks. But before we do, if this is your first time at our channel or you haven't subscribed, click on the subscribe button at the bottom. My name is Travis Sickle, certified financial planner, helping you reach your financial goals. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is the IRS is sending out interest payments to 13.9 million taxpayers. Now, this is a result of the tax deadline being pushed to July the 15th, but that doesn't leave the IRS off the hook because by law, they have to pay interest on any of the refund money that you're entitled to. And the rates for the second quarter, which ended on June 30th, were at 5% compounded daily. And then it changed and it has dropped to 3% compounded daily. And you might be thinking, how can I get a 3 or 5% interest rate anywhere else? Should I increase my withholdings or could I just write a check to the IRS? Well, it doesn't work quite like that. So the interest doesn't start accruing until after the tax deadline. So even if you were getting a refund each and every single year, that interest on the refund won't begin to accrue until after the tax filing deadline. Now for this year, it was July 15th, but those payments on the interest started on April the 15th. So if you were to increase your withholdings and you withheld more, let the IRS hang on to it for the year, and you waited until 2021 and expecting a 3 or 5% interest rate, you would be disappointed because at that point it's 0%. So the interest on your refund doesn't begin accruing until April the 15th. But in any case, 12.9 million people are going to get their direct deposit payments the same way that they got their refund. And the difference there is an additional 1.9 million people will get it by check because that's how they got their original refund. And the second update is for the economic injury disaster loans. So as of August the 15th, the total loans were at 3.497 million. So it's 3,497,081. You can see the number right there. Total dollars approved was just under or just over 184 billion at 184,464,635,819. Huge numbers. If we fast forward to August the 24th, we could see that's jumped to 3,573,000 total loans approved. And for the total dollars, that's just over 188 billion. And if your business still needs funding from the SBA and you haven't already applied to the EIDL loan, the economic injury disaster loan, it's at 3.75% over a 30-year period. And the third update is with the Federal Reserve keeping interest rates lower moving forward. So the chairman, Jerome Powell, spoke today. And he spoke about inflation and wanting to increase inflation by keeping rates low for an extended period of time. And the reason he wants to keep rates low for even longer, even though we're not seeing inflation, he would like to see some more inflation moving forward. Average right now is right about 1.6%. And we can actually see it from this chart from the Wall Street Journal. And it's showing the average inflation right now at 1.6%. For the month, it's just under 1%. And they want to have a target of right around 2%. Now, the reason that they want to cause inflation or let inflation occur is because if the rates are where they are right now and we can get a little bit more inflation, then they'll have a little bit more wiggle room later on down the road to actually drop rates as inflation creeps up. But if they raised rates and inflation continued to fall, it would get to the point where they couldn't lower the rates far enough to change the course of inflation and prevent deflation. And the reason why you wouldn't want deflation with prices falling, because if you think about a business that's selling goods, if they're going out and selling goods but earning less money, then they're not going to have enough revenue to support their business operations, so they would lay off more workers. So that is the result of deflation. Now, with inflation, with rising employment, which is what we saw pre-pandemic, then you would expect more inflation. But we didn't have that much inflation with historically low unemployment pre-pandemic. And that might be a little confusing because we have such high unemployment right now, but that was a result of the pandemic and not the health of the economy. Now, this will make for some interesting decisions moving forward. So if you're going out and thinking about buying a house or buying a car, this is where it really matters. Now, while interest rates could be low for extended periods of time, because that's what the Fed just said they were going to do with interest rates, so you're thinking, well, if I have more time to go out and get that same low rate mortgage or that same low rate loan for a car, then I can wait in order to go out and buy that house or buy that car. But with inflation, we might see prices start to rise. So there's this delicate balance between you being able to go out and get the loan at a really, really low rate and getting a reasonable price on whatever it is that you're buying, whether it be a house or a car or anything else. And this is a result of the policy that we saw pre-pandemic, where we saw really low unemployment, but also really low inflation. And the last update is for the stimulus checks, the $1,200, $2,000. We have no idea what the price of those stimulus checks will be, but today it's been reported that House Speaker Nancy Pelosi will speak with Chief of Staff Mark Meadows and hopefully continue those negotiations. And the standstill is still a result of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi wanting to move forward with the state and local funding, even though there was 100 Democrats who signed a letter urging her to look past the state and local funding and move forward with the unemployment. So hopefully later today, we'll have a clear statement from House Speaker Nancy Pelosi on those negotiations, or Chief of Staff Mark Meadows. So we'll see what happens, but at this point, there's still a standstill, but hopefully those talks ease it and they can move forward and start negotiating on the next stimulus package and next stimulus check. And that is your update for August the 27th for your next stimulus package and next stimulus check. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe and leave your comments down at the bottom.